Hello and welcome to a very special extended episode of the ITF America DEI interview series. My name is Olga Shurchkov and I hold the rank of 5th Dan in ITF. Today it is my absolute honor and privilege to share the screen with my teacher, mentor, and incredible Taekwondo legend, Grandmaster Ruben Suarez. Grandmaster Suarez started his Taekwondo training in the early 1970s in his native Cali, Colombia. As a competitor, Grandmaster Suarez holds numerous titles at the national and international levels in patterns, sparring, and power breaking when he competed in the 1980s and 90s. In subsequent years, he took his vast knowledge of competition to coaching, training numerous national and international competitors to bring home winners of multiple international titles, including from no less than 15 ITF World Championships, 6 ITF World Cups, and 7 ITF Pan American Championships. His commitment to teaching and sharing his knowledge with students is unparalleled. With the opening of his school, the Queen's Taekwondo Center in 1992, Grandmaster Suarez's focus has always been on the physical, mental, and spiritual growth of his students and on the development and improvement of the community in his neighborhood in Queens. Over the years, Grandmaster Suarez has promoted more than 200 black belts at QTC, including 30 at the international level, 4th Dan and up. On a more personal level, I have always admired and was surprised by his down-to-earth and hands-on approach to teaching. After all, it is almost unheard of for an 8th or 9th Dan to put on a uniform and teach a regular class, and yet he does it daily at his school, teaching any rank from white belt to master level. His dedication to teaching has not waned even through the pandemic, as he pivoted to teaching virtual classes and technical seminars to large ITFA and international audiences. Grandmaster Suarez embodies the tenets of courtesy, integrity, and perseverance. Even though he achieved the highest rank in Taekwondo, 9th Dan, and trained with the founder of Taekwondo himself, General Che Hong-hee, he remains ever so humble, emphasizing that he is still first and foremost a student. He is a true believer in the virtue of never stopping to learn, and he continues to expand his wealth of knowledge every day, having completed over 50 international level ITF instructor courses to date. Grandmaster Suarez is a strong leader in the ITF. In the United States, he has served as the vice president of the ITF USA for 7 years, as the president of the NTA ITF for nearly 8 years, and is currently on the board of directors of ITF America. Internationally, he has been a member of the ITF Umpire Committee, where he applies his extensive technical knowledge to the development and enforcement of the ITF rules and regulations for international competitors and the training of referees worldwide. Most recently, his dedication to ITF practitioners in other countries was acknowledged with his appointment to the ITF Development Committee for the Caribbean and Central America. Grandmaster Suarez's commitment to Taekwondo has earned him several other honors, including the ITF's Award for Best Instructor and a special recognition by the Colombian Consulate for his work as a Taekwondo instructor in the United States. It is clear that Grandmaster Suarez has been living his whole life fully and truly dedicated to the art of Taekwondo. So it's no surprise that he brought his entire family with him on this amazing journey. Today, I'm extremely lucky to also hear their side of the story as I welcome Grandmaster Suarez's spouse, Miss Gloria Rodriguez, and his 4 children, Miss Claudia, Miss Lorena, Miss Stephanie, and Mr. Ruben Jr. Sabamnim Gloria is a 6th Dan international instructor and, to my knowledge, the 3rd highest ranking woman in ITF America. Sabamnim Claudia, 5th Dan, is a full-time instructor at Queen's Taekwondo Center at the moment. She holds multiple national and international titles, winning double gold in individual patterns and individual sparring at the Pan American Championship in Brazil in 2018 and competing at the World Championships in 2017 and 2019. Miss Lorena is a 3rd Dan in Taekwondo, and when she was practicing, she too was an international competitor winning numerous titles. She is currently taking a break to focus on family and work as an elementary school teacher. Miss Stephanie, 3rd Dan, holds the titles of Junior World Champion and World Cup Champion in sparring, Vice World Champion in 3rd Dan patterns, as well as countless national titles having been a Team USA competitor in 8 international competitions, including the World Championship in 2019. And finally, Mr. Ruben Jr., First Dan, is the current ITF America National Champion in First Dan Patterns and was on Team USA in the very first E-World Championship in 2021. In this hour-long extended interview with the legendary Grandmaster Suarez and his family, I get to peek inside a world of Taekwondo like no other, learning what it's like to discover and pursue a true lifelong passion as Taekwondo has been for them. We will find out about their sacrifice, the feeling of pressure and the weight of responsibility, but also the experience of joy of belonging and the sense of community that comes with the very fulfilling, inspiring path in Taekwondo. Hi, Grandmaster Suarez, thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you, the Suarez family, for joining these ITF America DEI interview series. It's such an honor to be here with you all. We'll begin with some questions. I have so many prepared. My first one is for Grandmaster Suarez. Basically about how it all began. You're originally from Colombia. Please tell us about your life there and why and how you started your Taekwondo journey.
So ella pregunta que no es eso, ella quiere que yo haga translation. So ella pregunta que quiere saber cómo Grandmaster empezó, que ella sabe que es de Colombia, pero cómo empezó su jornada en Taekwondo.
Okay, en aquella época, long time ago, en aquella época estaba mucho de las películas de Bruce Lee.
So back in the days, the Bruce Lee movies were in style.
Operación Dragón, El Gran Jefe,
Operation Dragon, the Grand Boss.
Era una afición, todos queríamos ser karatecas, todos querían ser como Bruce Lee y ese fue el inicio.
So everyone was, you know, really excited about these movies and wanted to get into martial arts, and that's kind of how it all began with me.
Also, también un muchacho de la Gallada.
So one of the guys from the crew
entrenaba judo.
He used to train judo.
Y nos invitó a entrenar judo y fue el comienzo. Inicialmente entrené judo con él en la escuela que él estudiaba.
And that's really the first training that I had. Was he invited us to train judo, and that was the first time I started, like I tried martial arts.
Como 4 meses después vino mi maestro, mi maestro de taekwondo, hizo una demostración y pues nos unimos a la escuela de taekwondo.
So about 4 months after trying the judo, my former instructor or master did like a presentation, and that's how we all kind of began with the training.
Eso fue por ahí en el año 1973.
That was about in 1973.
Wow, that's amazing, sir. And who was your master, sir? Who was your instructor?
My instructor was Jorge Luis Avendaño. Él alcanzó el 5º grado en el Taekwondo ITF, pero por cuestiones políticas y en los países latinos, el gobierno apoya las organizaciones como la WT. Entonces, él se tuvo que cambiar a la fuerza, tuvo que cambiar para la WT y pues yo me vine en esa época me vine para Estados Unidos.
So his name was George Avendaño, and he reached his 5th degree, and he couldn't advance, I think, for political reasons, and there was more favoritism with the WT than with.
But todavía es mi amigo, mi maestro, y todavía seguimos comunicándonos una vez al mes, más o menos.
But he still is and always will be my, my instructor, and we have, we communicate very often. I call him often, and yeah, he will always be my instructor.
Amazing, very loyal, sir. That's Taekwondo. Very good. So I guess that leads me into my other question also about, your instructors. You trained with the founder of Taekwondo, General Taekwon-Do. So are there any stories you have, some memories that you could share with us of those days?
So Olga pregunta que si el gran maestro tiene historias. Ella sabe que él entrenó con el Grandmaster Suarez y quiere saber qué historias tiene el Gran Maestro Suárez para compartir.
Sí, yo tengo, usualmente en la página de la ITF, hay dos historias que se publicaron acerca de momentos con el General Choi, que siempre han marcado mucho en mí. Uno fue en el año 2002, cuando él hizo un meeting especial en Viena en enero 13.
So there's two events that have really marked me with General Choi Hong-hee. One was in 2003, you said?
2002.
2002.
Y fue cuando hubo el problema con el hijo del general Choi.
And there was a big situation with General Choi's son.
Él fue a la asamblea, al congreso que teníamos, entró y saludamos, y lo primero que dijo fue: he ganado muchas batallas en mi vida.
So this really marked me because where we were on General Choi walked in, and the first thing that said was, I've won a lot of battles in my life,
pero nunca gané la batalla más importante.
but I never won the most important battle.
Como padre, perdono a mi hijo.
Like a father, I forgive my son.
Ustedes como practicantes de Taekwondo nunca lo perdonarán.
But as Taekwondo practitioners, you will never forgive him.
Y esa es la realidad. Nosotros no le perdonamos a Choi Hong-hwa lo que hizo.
But it's the reality. We won't ever forgive Choi Hong-hwa what he did.
Esa es una situación. Y la otra fue cuando
So that was the first one. The second one was
tomé mi examen para sexto dan.
I tested for 6th degree.
Y General Choi estuvo presente para el rompimiento.
And General Choi was present for the breaking part of the testing.
Estuve muy contento porque me felicitó.
And I was very excited and happy because he congratulated me.
Porque seguí todos los pasos y mostré un poquito de...
So I followed all the rules, and I did everything I needed to do with breaking, and I showed some humbleness.
Esos son dos momentos que marcan para mí mi vida con el General Choi.
And for me, those are two of the moments that have marked me, in regards to General Choi Hong-hee.
Wow, that is very impressive, sir. So what was the break? Tell us a little bit about the break, sir. What was the humbleness about?
Olga, dice muy impresionante esos momentos con el General Choi Hong-hee. ¿Nos puedes explicar un poco más acerca del rompimiento y qué fue eso?
Más que todo fue el protocolo que seguimos para romper. El saludo, posición, medida, posición, romper, volver y el saludo. Ese protocolo no lo seguían todos.
It was basically
y eso lo hice yo.
The protocol about the bow and the guarding block, and a lot of people weren't following full on the protocol, but I was adamant about following the protocol.
The breaking was el rompimiento fue con el puño y patada al lado solamente, ¿no?
The breaking was nothing special, and it was the punching and a side kick, but I think the protocol made the difference.
Yes, sir. The respect and detail, the protocol. That is very important, sir. Exactly. Wonderful, wonderful stories. Thank you so much for sharing that. My next question is for Grandmaster Suarez and Ms. Rodriguez, Gloria. Your move to the United States. What was the motivation behind it? And what was it like to bring your family to a new country and start the Queen's Taekwondo Center in 1992?
Mi segunda pregunta dice Olga, que sabe que estaban ustedes en otro país y que cuál fue la motivación para venir y y de involucrar a toda su familia en Taekwondo.
Okay, we moved, or I moved, initially was to join my family because my family immigrated here. The first one were like the late 70s.
So Gloria dice, yo me mudé aquí básicamente por mi familia, para unirme con mi familia. Mi familia se mudó a los Estados Unidos de Colombia en los 1970, por ahí.
Late 70s, yeah. And then little by little, everybody was immigrated, and I am the youngest with my brother. My mother, my younger brother, and I were the last one.
Y de a poquito mis hermanos y mi familia empezó a emigrar aquí a los Estados Unidos y yo, you said you were the youngest one?
Yeah.
Yo fui yo soy la más joven de mis hermanos.
And then I came first time to the U.S. in the year 87.
Y yo vine a los Estados Unidos por la primera vez en el 87.
But since I was in college, we were studying physical education and health. That's where I met Master Suarez.
Yo estuve estudiando en la universidad educación física y salud, y ahí fue donde conocí al gran maestro Suarez.
So I came back to finish my major. So then, but I had promised my mother I was gonna come back, that I wanted to finish my major first and then come back to the U.S.
Pero yo le había hecho una promesa a mi mamá de que yo iba a terminar mis estudios en la universidad.
Great. And I came in January 1990, but then I was finished with school. I had only one class to finish. So then I went back again, and then we had the World Championship in Canada.
Y después en el 1900,
same year, yeah.
¿Qué año?
1990.
1990. So, ma'am, you already did Taekwondo before you met Grandmaster.
Yeah. Yes, I started in Taekwondo while in college.
Oh, that's interesting. So that you have in common with Grandmaster. Grandmaster was teaching Taekwondo at a university, right?
Yeah, he was instructor, so I met him there. I guess he saw. No, I was like, since I am I have 8 brothers, I was like the tomboy of the house. So and I was always very active, and I
So Gloria dice que ella es una de 8 de sus hermanos y que ella había empezado a entrenar taekwondo antes de conocer al gran maestro en la universidad. Ella dijo eso.
No, I correct that. I started taekwondo when I met him in college.
So Gloria dice que ella empezó taekwondo después de haber conocido al gran maestro en la universidad.
Okay.
So, I started training, and I competed a lot in Colombia, and I was good at it because they chose me to represent the national team as well.
So ella le gustaba mucho entrenar, lo disfrutaba mucho, compitió mucho en Colombia y la escogieron para representar en los nacionales de Colombia.
Yeah. So when the World Championship in Canada was coming, it was like the perfect time for me to immigrate to the U.S. because I graduated like in June 1990.
Okay, so
and then they were,
I'm sorry, this is too much information to remember. So, que cuando ella, cuando se iba a realizar el mundial en Canadá, a Gloria le pareció que fue la perfecta oportunidad para emigrar hacia los Estados Unidos.
So I graduated, and then we came to Canada, and then we came to the U.S.
So ella compitió en Canadá y de ahí se fue para los Estados Unidos.
Yes. Y como ella ganó medalla de bronce en figuras en esa ocasión,
So Grandmaster says she won a bronze
primer
medal
dan,
in Canada.
primer dan.
First dan.
Oh, wow.
Ah, bueno.
Very impressive.
So,
And sir, you started Taekwondo, the Queen's Taekwondo Center in 1992, right after you moved to the United States, or was there? How did that come about?
Olga pregunta que cuándo fue que comenzó con su academia de Queen's Taekwondo Center. ¿Fue en el 1992 o cómo fue que comenzó?
Sí, inicialmente después de Canadá nosotros nos fuimos a vivir a California.
So right after Canada, we went to live in California
Con la familia de Gloria y,
Gloria's
pues,
family.
y empecé yo el sueño americano.
So I began the American dream there.
Entonces, varios días, como todo el mundo empieza acá y me tocó quedarme y pues poco a poco fui superando esa etapa y en esa época Claudia y Lorena vivían en Nueva York.
So I started the American dream, you know, slowly, and then Claudia and Lorena lived in New York.
So decidí venirme para New York.
So I decided to come to New York.
Y abrí la escuela en New York.
And that's how I opened the school in New York.
I see. To join the family together, to live together with them. I see. That's interesting. I did not know that, sir. That it was from coast to coast. Very nice. Well, I know that Ms. Stephanie has to go a little bit early, so I wanted to ask, maybe I'll jump a little bit ahead with my questions, but I wanted to know from the perspective of, you know, being in this big Taekwondo family, basically, how it is to be a child of Taekwondo. I mean, really being raised in the art, in the martial art. So I wanted to ask every Suarez child, I guess, this question, but maybe we can start with Stephanie, just because, you know, I want to not take too much of your time. And then I just want to hear your perspectives of how it was to grow up in this world.
So Olga pregunta y quiere empezar con Stephanie Suarez, saber cómo es ser una hija de una persona que está tan involucrada en el Taekwondo y cuál ha sido su experiencia.
So I would say the experience overall has been, I mean, great. It's offered me a lot of opportunities to travel and to meet a lot of new people.
Stephanie dice que ella siente que le ha ofrecido una gran oportunidad, conocer mucha gente, viajar por muchas partes del mundo.
And also to, you know, stay physically active and fit throughout my whole life. And
y también de poder estar activa físicamente y sí, activa.
And, you know, I think as a teenager, I sort of resented it because it was tough, you know, being, you know, you have your parents at home and then you have them at the school also, and it was too much. But oh, go ahead, Claudia. I don't know.
Como sería adolescente, teenager, y como adolescente fue un poco difícil porque era bastante presión de entrenar y hacer las otras cosas que yo quería hacer.
But as I got older, you know, you sort of appreciate your parents more as you get older.
Pero a través de la madurez he aprendido a apreciar a mis padres, a mi papá, a mi mamá un poco más.
Yes, and their knowledge and their, you know, their experience also in the martial arts.
Su conocimiento y especialmente en las artes marciales.
And I think also it helps you create like a bond, especially in our school that we had a lot of like teenagers competing around the same age and around the same time, and you create a lot of memories with those people. So.
Y también siento que pude crear buenas amistades y a través del Taekwondo, porque eran mucha gente de la misma edad mía entrenando conmigo.
Yeah, so overall, I love the experience. I would recommend it to anyone and everyone that can do it.
Yes, it's wonderful. I mean, yes, but I know what you mean. Ruben is like sitting back there and just nodding like the teenager, you know. I see you back there. It's but it is definitely a journey. I mean, you know, you all started so young and then through adolescence and then into adulthood. But all of you, I mean, it's so impressive, have been national, international champions, you know, and competitors, which is super impressive. And I wanted to go to Ruben actually and ask you, you know, I know that you're now, you are the ITF America national champion this year. You're going on to the world championship. So that's super exciting. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, your journey and sort of like how you fit into this whole family and how you feel about the competition aspect?
So Olga le pregunta a Ruben Jr. Cuál ha sido su experiencia y que también se siente orgullosa de él porque ahorita es campeón nacional de su categoría y compite ¿cuándo?
va a competir.
O va a competir esta semana. So.
I mean, to be honest, it's been pretty exciting now since I'm able to like participate in international events. But to be honest, like the thing that also bothers me is like you end up getting so much pressure on your back, like don't screw up, like especially like when you're recording.
So Ruben Jr. dice que ha sido una experiencia muy exciting, entusiasmante. Y que sí le ha gustado, pero para ser honesto, dice él, es bastante presión de hacer las cosas bien, de no equivocarse, de no hacer errores.
Like while we were recording this morning, the only thing that was in my mind when I was doing the paddle was just, come on, don't screw up, don't screw up.
Por ejemplo, esta mañana que estábamos haciendo la grabación, lo único que yo podía pensar en mi mente era, no la vayas a dañar, no la embarres, no la embarres.
But eventually, when we finished the recordings, when all the patterns were set, like all I could think of was just like a sigh of relief because it was all behind me. Like all we had to do was just wait for the results now.
Pero entonces ya al terminar la grabación ya sentí como un alivio de poder saber que bueno, ya pude hacer esto, ya está, es algo en el pasado y puedo seguir, hacia adelante.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure, but I mean, that just to persevere through that, it's such a great life lesson, and like Ms. Stephanie said, I mean, I think probably later on in life, you'll appreciate this lesson of overcoming the anxiety, that comes with competing. And I know that, I mean, I think with patterns, I know Ms. Claudia, questions for you. You've told me this before that, sparring is sort of natural and it's sort of just like, you just do it, right? Like but with patterns, it's very cerebral. So can you tell your story of competing?
Well, for me, Taekwondo has been, I believe it's a part of who I am because, my whole family does it and how long I've been doing it, but competition for me started, I think, late because I took some time off and then I felt and then I got older and I also can relate to what Stephanie says. I don't know if you want to translate a little bit. Because I'm speaking in English.
Okay.
So, yeah, I feel like I started late because I took some time off and I was really excited about watching, like, I remember when they were all going to Italy and I had started training again and just seeing how hard they would train and how much better they were, getting. I was like, I want to do this. And the pictures they would take and the training sessions that were only for competitors. I was like, wow, I really want to be a part of this. But I said, I'm older than everyone by 10 years. I took about 10 years off of training. So if I want to do this, I have to put a lot of energy and effort into this. And I did. And I really did. I put a lot of energy and effort into it.
Okay, dice que ella empezó a entrenar y tomó como un descanso de 10 años, pero cuando ella veía las fotos y veía el entreno, ella quiso ser como parte de eso, le parecía muy, muy bueno, exciting, ver todas las fotos y cómo como todo el mundo lucía. Entonces dijo, vamos a hacer de nuevo parte de eso y volvió a comenzar.
Sí, que le tocó que dedicar mucho más tiempo por ser mayor y por haber tomado 10 años de descanso.
Le tocó dedicarle mucho más tiempo todavía porque ya estaba adulta y tenía que hacer más esfuerzo como para poder recuperar todo ese tiempo perdido.
I felt like I had to put so much effort because everyone was, again, 10 years younger than I was. So I did that. And everyone would, what I love the most is sparring. But I felt like I would get so frustrated. I'm like, I'm never going to be as good as Stephanie or Kibeth, and so anyway, I feel like I after dedicating as much time as I did and training as hard as I did, I felt like I was great with sparring. But then the biggest challenge for me was patterns, just because I would just freeze up. And that was one of the reasons why I initially took time off, because I was just like, it was too much for me. When I was younger, the disappointment, being Grandmaster Suarez's daughter, it was a lot of pressure, and I was just like, oh boy, this is too much. I'm just gonna step back for a little while. And that little while ended up being 10 years. So then after I felt great with the sparring, I was like, I need to overcome, this fear that I have with patterns.
Okay. Después de que empezó a entrenar, ella se sentía que no iba a ser capaz de estar al nivel que estaba Stephanie y Kiabet, que han venido continuamente compitiendo, pero con la dedicación que tuvo se dio cuenta de que sí pudo, pero el mayor obstáculo que tuvo fue las figuras, porque pues entonces ella se retiró por los 10 años y volvió.
So it was a lot of what Master likes to call cocachos, where it's like, ding,
Yes. No, I can't even imagine what it would be like to have this weight that you have, the legacy, of the martial art and carrying forward, and also, that such a family to the name to uphold. I can understand that. Now, Miss Lorena, I know that you competed, and I would love to hear your perspective. I know that you are not training at this moment. Just tell us about sort of your journey and what you think about taking a break. And
so my experience with it as well, I mean, it was part of our everyday life, so it was always fun for us. We knew after school we were going straight to Taekwondo. And
Lorena explica de que para ella fue algo que tenía que hacer todos los días. Después de la escuela se sabía que era Taekwondo todos los días.
It was something we looked forward to, and it was just, that was our thing, and it was challenging, but I just loved the competition.
Era algo que era, ¿cómo se dice? Challenging, como un obstáculo, un reto, pero era algo que me gustaba hacer. Y ¿qué más dijo?
Just I got to love the competition.
Ella dice le encantaba mucho la competencia.
Yeah, so I mean, the art of it. I love the patterns. I also love sparring, but I love the patterns, and I think we were always under pressure, but I enjoyed.
La pelea, pero para ella como que se enamoró más era de las figuras y que era bastante presión.
And being just the physical part of it, I mean, it's still something, that I use today, and I've been able to also, because of my father, bring it into my family. So although my daughters, they also play soccer, I still try to, have them do Taekwondo, whether it's with me, or I taught them before, or when we traveled to New York. So it's been part of my life for them.
Dice que la parte física le ha gustado mucho y siente que ha podido usarla a través de los años en otras clases que ha hecho con sus hijas. Sus dos hijas entrenan y les va muy bien en el fútbol, pero que ella trata de que estén involucradas en Taekwondo también.
Yeah, so so Taekwondo, I mean, I believe it has a lot to offer. It's a beautiful art, the discipline part of it, and the physical conditioning of it. And
Yo siento que Taekwondo tiene mucho que ofrecer, no solamente la parte física, el arte, y sí, siento que tiene demasiado que ofrecer.
So I just started my son in Taekwondo, and of course now with COVID it's hard because I mean things are closed down and like lots of stuff on Zoom. So I am also teaching him myself mostly, and I can relate to that, teaching your own child. So Grandmaster and Ms. Gloria, how did you do it on your end? I mean, how did you motivate them all? I mean, they all achieved so much, you know, and how did you raise champions? I guess that's my question to you.
Olga pregunta, bueno, comparte de que con su hijo también está enseñándole ella ahorita Taekwondo y con lo de la pandemia ha sido un poco difícil, pero ella quiere saber cómo han podido Gloria y el gran maestro motivar a sus hijos para que entrenen y puedan y ya hayan habido alcanzado varias metas.
¿Contestas?
Okay, en el caso, in my case,
Sí.
in my case, I feel like as a mother, it's more challenging to teach your kids than as a father.
En mi caso, como madre, creo que es un poco más, un reto más grande que como un padre enseñarle a sus hijos artes marciales.
Because your kids see you as the mother you are, and they only expect for them to be caring with them, but no, like they don't like the authority part of it.
So ellos ven los hijos, yo siento que los hijos lo ven a uno como una madre que es una persona muy amorosa, que muy cariñosa, pero no les gusta o se sienten cómodos con la parte autoritativa.
Yeah.
De autoridad.
Like for example, when I started competing in the US, I put a lot of effort and spirit, and I saw Claudia and Lorena, they always watching me, and I know they saw the way I train hard and everything.
Por ejemplo, con mi competencia, yo ponía mucho de mi parte, mi espíritu y todo en mi competencia, y yo veía que Claudia y Lorena admiraban mucho eso, y eso era grande para mí.
By example, ma'am.
Yeah.
Example.
And if I tell them to do this or to do that, they wouldn't argue with me or hesitate to do it.
Pero si yo les decía a ellas, hagan esto, hagan lo otro, ellas sin darme problema lo hacían y confiaban y me escuchaban.
However, when I went to Stephanie or now with Ruben, it is totally different.
Pero por ejemplo con mis propios hijos, que eran Stephanie y Ruben, era muy difícil, no confiaban en lo que yo les decía, muy difícil que me escucharan a que yo les diera una referencia acerca.
They will roll, the she still rolls his eyes on me like, like annoyed.
Stephanie y Ruben hasta el día de hoy solo voltean los ojos como fastidiados y es frustrante para mí como madre.
Stephanie, obviously she changed when she started competing in world championships internationally. And then I felt that she knew, to my experience, what to do. So I felt that way once. I think it was in Benidorm in one of those World Cups.
Y Stephanie cambió cuando ya empezó a competir internacionalmente. Me acuerdo cuando fueron a Italia, a Benidorm.
Jesolo,
Italy. Y cuando fueron a Italia fue que vi como que ella sabía lo que estaba haciendo.
Yeah, so that day she started rolling her eyes on me.
Ese día dejó de voltear los ojos y empezó a escuchar y a confiar un poco en lo que yo le decía.
So yeah, it's more challenging as a mother, because yeah, they see the mother part of it. They don't see like the didactic part of it.
Entonces sí, como mamá, vuelvo y digo, es más difícil y me parece un poco frustrante como madre.
Makes sense. No, I can totally see that. Although I'm the tough one in our family. I'm the mean one, the Russian judge, they say. So, so I don't know who's better, but
It's hard to talk.
Well, wonderful. So your school, sir, so your, the center, how has it evolved over the years from 1992 to today, especially with the changes that happened recently, the pandemic and everything. So, yeah, how do you keep the school going, and what does it mean to you as a business, but also as a life, right?
Otra pregunta que quiere saber acerca de la escuela, de cómo han sido estos tiempos difíciles y cómo él ha podido seguir con su escuela y salir adelante con estos tiempos que hemos pasado.
Ok, realmente la vida son etapas, son periodos.
Grandmaster says that he feels that life is phases, there's periods in time, seasons that we have to go through.
Desafortunadamente la pandemia llegó.
Unfortunately, we went through a pandemic, or we're going through a pandemic.
Y creo que terminó el final de una etapa.
And I believe one phase, we're through one of the phases.
Empezó otra etapa.
And now we've begun a second phase.
So, la gente que entrenaba en esa época desapareció.
The people who were training before the pandemic, before COVID, have pretty much honestly disappeared.
Yeah, la mayoría de competidores desaparecieron.
99% of the competitors have not returned to train.
So, afortunadamente nuevas personas llegaron.
But fortunately, we have new people that have begun to train.
Estamos empezando un nuevo periodo con nuevos estudiantes, con gente joven.
I believe that, it's a new phase, and I'm excited about it. It's young people, it's new people.
Like, for example, por ejemplo, niños de como la edad de Ruben, 14, 13 años, 12 años.
New kids like around Ruben's age, 13, 12 years old.
Y pues de esa forma estamos volviendo a crecer y muy pronto volvemos a llegar de nuevo a los lugares.
And I believe, we are growing, and that surely we will get back to competition, high level competition.
La pandemia me enseñó
The pandemic has taught me something.
Que no nos debemos de apegar a nada.
That we shouldn't be attached to anything or anyone.
True, that's very true. It's sad, but true, sir. Yeah.
Es triste, pero la verdad.
It's sad, Grandmaster says, but it's the reality.
Yes, sir. It's very tough. It's been tough for everyone, but yes, it's through like the spirit, the Taekwondo spirit that keeps us going. No, I mean, it's perseverance, indomitable spirit. So hopefully, and the competition will bring everyone back, and will continue. So that's wonderful. Speaking of phases in life, sir, so just recently, Grandmaster Suarez achieved your promotion to 9th Dan. Big congratulations again, sir. Obviously, this is a huge a step in the Taekwondo path. How do you feel about this ultimate rank, and was reaching 9th Dan any different from 8th or 7th? And any previous promotions, and what are your priorities and goals now for the future?
So Olga felicita al gran maestro por su promoción a noveno Dan y quiere saber cómo se siente él acerca de eso y cuál ha sido su experiencia hasta ahora.
Bueno, okay, getting in the 90 degrees alcanzar el noveno Dan es un gran logro que solamente se obtiene a través de la experiencia y el aporte que usted puede hacer a la ITF, a la Federación Internacional.
So he feels reaching ninth degree is something that is done by dedication and by contributing to also the ITF.
Porque pues pienso de que cuando tomé la decisión, cuando acepté la decisión de Grandmaster Merano me sugirió que aplicara.
I believe that after, considering the opportunity and Grandmaster Merano telling me I should apply for it,
consideré que reunía todos los requisitos necesarios para ese momento.
I considered that I had all the, prerequisites for that moment.
Y seguí la sugerencia de Master Merano y Grandmaster Merano y apliqué, reuniendo todos los requisitos que la Federación Internacional le sigue y pues.
So I took Grandmaster Merano's suggestion and I applied.
En diciembre 15 del año 2019, pues me promovieron a noveno Dan.
On December 15, 2019, I was promoted to ninth Dan.
Con esto terminando el ciclo de lo que es la vida del Taekwondo.
Basically, I guess getting to the end of the cycle of what life is in the ITF Taekwondo.
¿Qué es la diferencia entre ser gran maestro a un séptimo octavo Dan? Es bastante diferencia.
What is the difference between a ninth degree, eighth degree, or seventh? In my opinion, it's a huge difference.
No solamente la parte técnica.
Not only the technical part.
Es la parte de conocimiento, es la parte de filosofía.
It's the knowledge, the philosophy.
Es la parte ¿qué podemos hacer por el taekwondo?
What can we do as a person for Taekwondo?
Eso creo que en este nivel se puede lograr de una forma más contundente.
I feel that at this level, it's we can contribute to that in a more, I guess, what would be the word for that? A more, like in a stronger way.
Obviamente cuando alcancé el séptimo Dan,
Obviously, when I got to seventh Dan,
y fue muy emotivo también,
it was also very exciting for me
porque cambié las rayas.
because I was able to transition from the stripes.
Entonces, ya comienza el principio del final de la vida.
To me, it's like
En
the
Taekwondo.
beginning of the end of Taekwondo.
A ser gran maestro le da a uno una jerarquía.
And to be Grandmaster gives you a hierarchy,
Una posición dentro de la misma ITF
a position within the ITF,
y ciertos beneficios, ¿no?
and certain benefits.
Pues, estoy muy contento de poder estar en esa posición y poder colaborar en lo que más pueda con nuestra organización.
So I feel very happy to be in this position and to be able to be a contribution to the ITF.
Yes, that's wow. That's a amazing journey. I mean, it's interesting because black belt is the beginning. Not everyone knows that. I think people watching who are maybe a color belt, they might not know that really the black belt is the beginning. But then, when we get to master, it's so interesting to hear how it's also a beginning of an end, but in a good way.
Since Stephanie's leaving, I just wanna say one thing.
Una anécdota de Stephanie. Estábamos en Italia en el campeonato mundial junior
We were in
de
Italy
Riva Lagarda.
in the junior competition,
and Stephanie compitió sola.
and Stephanie competed by herself.
Estaba de juez.
I was a judge.
Cuando ella se acerca a la mesa y me dice, papi, quedé primer lugar en sparring.
So she came to the table and said, Dad, I got first play. I got a gold medal in sparring.
So, no lo podía creer porque pues yo estaba ocupado de árbitro, ella estaba compitiendo sola y
I couldn't believe it because, you know, I wasn't able to be there like on her corner, you know, and I was in shock, you know, because I was judging for this competition. So I couldn't believe it when she said that to me.
entonces ese momento nunca se me olvida.
And I'll never forget that moment. It was a big moment for me.
Wow, that's so cool. It's so cool. Well, I'm not surprised that she won, but I guess you were, sir. I don't. That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. Well, someday you'll come back.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. It was so good to have you.
Hi, Nani.
Cada una de ellas tiene una anécdota.
Yeah, so the women question, right? What do you think? Lorena, Claudia, Gloria, what do you think? How do we motivate women to stick with it? I think it's a difficult question.
Una pregunta que cómo podemos motivar a más mujeres de rangos altos de poder participar o estar involucradas en Taekwondo.
I believe for women, mostly when you become a mother, you have to put some things on the side because you're not the priority.
Yo creo que como
children
madre,
become the priority.
que como madre es algo muy especial porque uno ya no es la prioridad, sino que le toca que poner muchas cosas aparte y los hijos son la prioridad.
But at the same time, we have to try to work it out, not to be the best, but to make a little time for you to squeeze in some time for your own benefit.
Pero yo creo que es muy importante uno poder sacar un momento para dedicarse a uno mismo, de saber que está bien, de uno poder sacar un momento para hacer algo por uno mismo.
It helps you. It helps you because for me, it's kind of, I feel like sometimes I stressed out for, the daily routine. But once you are in that spot that you dedicate to yourself, even twice a week, that makes a big difference. So just making a little time for yourself.
En mi experiencia, a veces me siento un poco estresada, pero de poder sacar 1 o 2 veces a la semana, de poder entrenar y estar ahí en ese momento, me hace sentir muy bien.
Maybe the goal is not to reach 9th degree right away.
No, I was sort of kidding, but yes. But to continue.
Yeah, to continue.
De pronto la meta no es de llegar a 9º grado, pero de continuar y de poder seguir haciendo algo que a uno le gusta.
And I agree.
Yes.
I would love to become 9th degree, but I think I've been able to just take a little bit of time, maybe not twice a week, but maybe it's once a week or, and just
¿Está de acuerdo con lo que
practice what I know and continue because it's always going to be there, right? So you just have to take the time and practice up to what I know, but not,
Yeah.
So much, Taekwondo has so much to practice, to continue.
Lorena dice que está de acuerdo con lo que dice Gloria, que es muy importante poder sacar un momento de pronto para mí, dice Lorena, no 2 veces a la semana, pero es algo importante y de poder sacar el momento y siempre va a estar el Taekwondo ahí, entonces es poner uno de su parte.
Yeah, I think it's such a valuable thing that what you're saying is that, in Taekwondo, it's not just all about rank and being promoted. I think people forget that, they kind of want to be constantly going up and up and up, or they want to be always competing and winning, those things. But I agree that there could be like a quieter practice that will actually be much more beneficial for all of us. It doesn't have to be for glory, quote unquote, or for these for necessarily for rank. Absolutely. And so you can continue in your own way, in your own time, and benefit from it. That's an amazing lesson. I think that people forget that for sure. Well, speaking of, I guess I want to wrap up with a question about life in general. And Grandmaster, we know that you, of course, Taekwondo is your life, but you have other interests outside of Taekwondo. Can you share with us, your other hobbies? I know you like to dance. So do you have time for it? How do you find time, sir? Like, how do you find time? Tell us about dancing and salsa.
Taekwondo es todo para el gran maestro Suárez, pero quiere saber qué otras cosas le gustan hacer a él, que no sean involucrando el Taekwondo, y cómo él saca el tiempo para poder hacerlas. Y dice Olga que ella sabe que le gusta mucho bailar salsa, y que cómo hace para sacar el tiempo.
Escucha simplemente.
Ok, Olga, gracias por la pregunta, pero mi vida es Taekwondo.
He says, thank you, Olga, for the question, but to be honest, my whole life is Taekwondo.
My family is Taekwondo.
Mi familia es Taekwondo.
Todo el que esté al lado mío tiene que ver con Taekwondo.
Everyone who surrounds me has to be in Taekwondo.
No hago otra actividad.
I don't really involve myself in any other activity.
People, no tengo tiempo para hacer otra actividad.
I really don't have the time to dedicate to any other activity.
He tratado de hacer otra actividad, pero nunca.
I've tried to do other activities, but
nunca he crecido.
I've never been able to advance in anything.
Entonces, para mí el taekwondo es muy completo, muy complejo.
For me, Taekwondo is very complete and very complex.
Pienso que no tengo tiempo para dedicarme al taekwondo.
I don't believe that I have any other time to dedicate to anything else but Taekwondo.
Quisiera tener más energía.
I would love to have a little more energy.
Para aportar mucho más.
To be able to support more, to give more of myself.
Lo de la salsa es algo de mi juventud.
Salsa is something that, yes, I loved very much when I was younger.
Cuando estaba joven, pero llegan las obligaciones.
But then responsibility comes in and
y cambia de país uno.
You move to another country.
La cultura es un poco diferente.
The culture changes.
Las costumbres cambian y pues cambia uno.
Customs are different.
Lo cierto es, me gusta escuchar mucho salsa.
Honestly, I love listening to salsa.
Y pues cuando se puede, pues se practica.
And when I can, indulge a little bit in it, then I do.
I've seen it. It looks really good still. So don't be so humble, sir. I think it's really it's quite another skill. So that's wonderful to hear. Of course, it's so hard. I mean, with the whole life Taekwondo, and you do so much, at the ITF level, ITF America. Just it's a full-time job times 2, right? Absolutely. And I guess you mentioned the moving to this country. I know that I started with that, but I just still have a question a little bit about it. Teaching Taekwondo in Colombia versus in the United States. I know there's also time passed, but any differences in terms of students and just how it is to do Taekwondo in these 2 different countries?
Olga pregunta que quiere saber la diferencia enseñando en otro país y aquí en los Estados Unidos, que cuáles han sido las diferencias.
Sí, hay mucha diferencia.
There's a huge difference, he says.
Primero, yo enseñaba en una universidad.
First, in Colombia, I taught in a university.
And, el nivel de educación, por supuesto, de los estudiantes es más alto y todos iban porque les gustaba entrenar.
And the education level was much higher in Colombia because you're in a university, and the people that did participate in the trainings were people that genuinely wanted to be there.
A nivel de la escuela, comparando, yo trabajo con muchos niños aquí en Estados Unidos,
I feel like in the United States, I've had to work with a lot of children,
la cultura es muy diferente.
and the culture is extremely different.
Los papás tienen ocupados a los niños en cuanta cosa haya
The parents have their kids involved in so many different activities,
y los llevan a la escuela para que uno haga un milagro,
and sometimes I feel like they want you to like create a miracle with their children just by bringing them to the Taekwondo school an hour a day.
y el taekwondo necesita un poquito de dedicación, responsabilidad,
And
disciplina.
in my opinion, Taekwondo requires discipline and what did you say?
Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Y el trato que uno tiene aquí en Estados Unidos con los niños es diferente al trato que uno tiene en los países latinos.
And the relationship that you have with children here in the United States is quite different from the relationship you would have with a child in another country.
Completamente diferente.
Very different.
I know it, sir. I'm from Russia, so it's
Yeah, you know, you are more like.
yes, sir. And I understand. I mean, about all this activities. You know, it's for me, just Taekwondo was the only thing, and that's I think that's different now with all the other stuff that's interferes, and then it sort of becomes another club, but it's not really, right? It's much deeper than that, and that's what I want to instill in my son as well. But it's hard culturally.
And adding to that is that when he taught in the university, there was a small Taekwondo club for people from outside who were the children of the workers in the university who could attend.
Agregándole a lo que dijo el maestro cuando él enseñaba en la universidad, había un grupo de que podían ir los hijos de los estudiantes que estaban o los trabajadores que estaban en la universidad.
They were like people who had probably more economic challenges, but if they were to attend the training, they did it with all their heart. They have they showed more passion. Here,
siento que esos estudiantes que iban al grupo tenían de pronto más dificultades financieras, pero daban todo de ellos mismos, se les veía la pasión por encima.
Yeah, so you could push them hard without they wouldn't complain.
Uno podía empujarlos un poco más y ellos no se quejaban.
Yeah, here parents, they had to pay for the kids to attend the Taekwondo, and if the kid doesn't like, they just quit. And if you push the kid a little harder, they can complain to the parents and you can get in trouble for that.
Aquí me parece un poco diferente porque uno está aquí enseñándole a los niños y los padres están pagando por sus clases, pero si uno los empuja un poco y no les gusta, solamente es ir a decirle a los padres y los padres dicen, ok, entonces si no quiere mi hijo, lo saco de Taekwondo.
Yeah, so.
Unfortunately, it misses the point. It misses the point of what Taekwondo is really great for. It's really great for building grit and confidence, but also discipline, and so that defeats the purpose in some sense. That mentality. That makes sense. Well, to wrap up, I just wanted to say thank you again so much. I mean, just I could talk to you and your family forever. But just any last messages to people who might watch this video. I mean, of course, in the Taekwondo world, but also, yeah. How do we continue? How do we? What do we learn in Taekwondo? What's sort of the most favorite part of Taekwondo for you personally? Maybe Lorena, if you want to sort of tell us. I mean, I physical, but also maybe mental. Any favorite aspects?
No, I mean, I believe it's a beautiful art, and then the discipline for yourself and for your children. You know, if you plan to involve your children in it, you know, it's a sport for everyone, and it's a lifetime sport. So, and of course, I'm very grateful for my father to be able to, you know, have his whole family involved in Taekwondo. So, and Gloria, and thanks to Gloria too, because she, you know, like she said, she was an example for us growing up as well. So,
no, it's an amazing thing to have role model. Yes, yeah. And I think you're right that it's really for anyone too, like you said. I mean, you all are an incredibly physically gifted family, you know. I mean, obviously, and physically and spirit wise, but it is for anyone, and you can start at any age. And that what really brought me to it as well, is sort of that part that it's so inclusive, such an inclusive art, which I really love.
And I feel like it's a humanitarian thing that we do as teaching children, because I feel like we're building strong people for our society, mentally, physically, you know, yeah, spiritually, and just having confidence and believing in yourself, and just being a part of another human being to, you know, to help them, to empower them is something beautiful, I believe.
Yes, so true.
So I have to translate what I said, Master. So yo estoy diciendo que como instructora me parece algo, ¿cómo se dice? Humanitarian. Humanitario, porque estamos ayudando a crear gente fuerte, no solamente físicamente, sino mentalmente, espiritualmente para nuestra comunidad. Y es algo muy bonito poder ser parte del mejoramiento de cualquier persona, de la sociedad. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Like, this was prior to the pandemic, so we had a different schedule.
Antes de la pandemia tuvimos un horario un poco diferente.
So whenever I came to class, we would be like the first class, since it was the little kids who always trained first.
Éramos siempre la primera clase después de los niños más pequeños que entrenaban primero.
So whenever the class ends, we would get a glimpse at the next class, which was full of advanced students who were either like red stripe, black stripe, or black belt.
Y podía yo ver el comienzo de la próxima clase, que eran estudiantes más avanzados, negro, franja roja, franja negra.
And a lot of the kids in my class, including myself, we were just looking at them say, wow, we want to be like them.
Y siempre veíamos a esos estudiantes, los otros muchachos con que yo entrenaba, y yo decíamos, wow, queremos llegar a franja negra, queremos llegar a cinta negra.
When I got to black belt, I felt like a major accomplishment.
Y cuando yo llegué a cinturón negro, me sentí un gran, ¿cómo se dice? I'm stuck right now, accomplishment. Un gran logro. There we go. Un gran logro.
When we see like those kids who are like a lower ranks, when they would see it, watch, like they would think that we're their heroes to them.
Entonces yo siento que los otros niños nos miran a nosotros ahora como que wow, somos nosotros sus héroes.
Like I kind of have a feeling that this is basically a cycle. So one, you would think of someone else as like your hero, that you want to become just like them.
Y yo veo que esto es como un ciclo, ¿no? Que en una parte uno mira a la gente más avanzada y quiere ser como ellos.
And then when you reach that certain level, then you will see other people who want to be like you.
Y entonces uno llega a ese nivel y ve otra gente que quiere ser como uno.
Very well said.
There are like other things that sometimes people will just envy you for, like participating in tournaments, for example.
Entonces yo veo como que de pronto a veces hay niños que tienen envidia porque no están en la competencia, por ejemplo.
Like let's say international tournaments such as the one in Colombia during 2019.
Como cuando yo fui a Colombia en el 2019.
Like a lot of people wanted to go.
Mucha gente quería ir a ese campeonato.
But although there were many, there weren't that many people who were able to like get to Colombia to participate.
Pero no hubo mucha gente que pudo ir a participar en Colombia.
Either it was for school or because of political reasons, via their passports, whatever.
Así fuera por de pronto problemas por el pasaporte o por escuela.
But at least we are able to share our memories and experiences of how our competitions, of what we were able to see in the outside world, and be able to share them to the people who stayed behind.
Very nice. So, pero por ejemplo, entonces los que sí tuvimos la oportunidad de ir y participar en ese campeonato, pudimos llegar otra vez a la escuela y compartir con los niños que no pudieron ir.
Very good, very good. Sir, any kind of parting wisdom that you can tell us?
Okay. Yes, but okay, yes, creo que hacer una actividad, ya sea Taekwondo o cualquier otro nombre,
I believe that doing any kind of activity, whether that be Taekwondo or anything else,
mientras usted sea constante en lo que está haciendo,
as long as you're constant in what you're doing,
usted va a desarrollar ciertas cualidades,
I believe that you will develop certain qualities,
puede ser físicas, mentales, psicológicas,
physical, mentally, or psychologically,
pero solo se logra con la perseverancia.
but it's only obtained through perseverance.
Muchas personas hablan,
A lot of people talk.
yo quiero esto, quiero lo otro, quiero,
I want to do this, I want to do that,
pero nunca empiezan.
but they don't start.
So, miramos la montaña arriba y es llegar arriba al tope de la montaña es lo más difícil.
So we just kind of look at the mountain, but you know, to get to the top of that mountain is really what's difficult.
Pero cuando empezamos a dar el primer paso,
But when we take that first step,
vemos que cada vez la montaña está más cerca.
we realize that each step the top of the mountain gets a little closer.
Eso es solo cuestión de tiempo.
It's just a matter of time.
Entonces, solo se logra con la perseverancia.
So we only obtain that through perseverance.
Yo invito a todos a que empiecen cualquier actividad, llámese como se llame.
So I invite all of you to start whatever activity it is that you might like or have interest in.
Si prefieren hacer taekwondo, especialmente ITF,
If you prefer to do maybe a martial arts like Taekwondo ITF,
sería la mejor decisión de su vida.
that would be the best decision you can ever make.
Thank you, sir. That is such an inspiration, really. Such wise words, and it's inspiring me to do my practice as well. Of course, it's always in difficult times, but it's important to one step at a time, like you said, sir. It's very, very important. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Suarez family and Grandmaster. Thank you so much, Sir Taekwon. Thank you. Just a wonderful interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you to you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this
No.
meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, really, I appreciate that.